one thing that you have said on the campaign trail for Nikki Haley repeatedly, when questioned about what is her path to victory, is you talk about the voters. And you say the voters should be the ones to decide. Obviously, everyone agrees with that. But when you talk about what the voters decide, I have to ask you, because you and I have never spoken before in an interview, about a text message that you sent to Mark Meadows. It was 3 days before President Biden was inaugurated, and you were urging the White House to use the U.S. military to prevent the peaceful transfer of power. Do you regret sending that message?
The only thing I regret, I misspelled martial law. I misspelled that. No, I didn't. Look, everything happened so quick in that election. The time that was given to see if the ballots were real, see if, you've seen 2,000 mules. Most people have. There's a lot of questions. What's wrong with taking time?
That was created by a guy that Trump pardoned.
Created by who?
Wasn't that created by a guy that Trump pardoned? I mean, the point of it is that movie is not based in reality. There is no election fraud, and courts have proven that. Republican judges that were appointed by Republican presidents have noted that. I mean, there was no evidence of that by the time January 17th rolled around, Congressman.
Well, there were questions, as you know. There were questions throughout the election process. What happened in Georgia was unusual. What happened in Arizona was unusual. Look, I talked to the congresspeople that serve those particular states. But no, I don't regret that at all. And it's still questions that linger today. But we
Sir,
have got to get our voting right.
what questions are there that linger today? Because this is really important. We are approaching another election. And when you talk to Republican voters, in CNN exit polls, half of them don't believe that Joe Biden legitimately won the election, which he did. And calling for martial law because you have questions about the election, I think most people would agree is subverting the will of voters that you often talk about that are so important.
No, look, to keep this system honest, photo voter ID, which the Democrats tried to circumvent. They've been trying to circumvent that. What they're doing with illegal aliens, with the vote, get them registered to vote, is not right. That's what I'm talking about.
What does that have to do with
making sure
that's you calling for martial law,
Kaitlan,
Congressman?
Look, I texted Mark Meadows. That's the only person. He didn't have the power. I asked him. Donald Trump was shocked too.
He was the chief of staff at the White House. Did he respond to your message that day? I don't think you've ever made clear what his acknowledgement of your message was.
I don't think everything was going on, everything was so fast, I don't think he did. But the bottom line is we got to have secure elections, and whatever that takes, there are a lot of questions that still exist. You've seen the lawsuits that were there. But no, I wouldn't take it back. I misspelled it. I should have taken the time. I was in a hurry, but no, I would not. I don't regret that.
Those lawsuits were all thrown out. None of them amounted to anything. The only place where they found they miscounted, Biden actually had a bigger margin than he initially did. Congressman, it is striking to hear you say that you stand by asking for martial law to be declared 3 days before Biden was elected. I just wanted to make sure we talked to you about that. So thank you, Congressman Ralph Norman, for your time tonight.